It's easy to feel disabled when you're in a chair, but when I'm throwing up weight that even I know most able-bodied people can't do, I'm just like, I really don't feel like I'm in a chair anymore. Yes, I'm definitely strong for somebody in a wheelchair, but I don't want to be strong for somebody in a wheelchair. I want to be strong, period. I like competing. I like the trash talking from people, like back and forth. I was like, this isn't going to be enough. I needed more. This last wheelchair games, I completed the seated deadlift at 700 pounds. They say it was 700, but when you really count up all the weight, it was 705. I just want to be clear with it. No, but when you have all those people around you and they're like, "Why don't you go up in weight? Why don't you have more weight? You got it. You could do it." It's kind of like a little boost to your ego, and you're just like, "Just let's run it. Let's go." People usually make small jumps. All those people, I was like, well, I just did 525. Okay, let's go 625. And then I was like, you know what? Let's go 700. And dude, it was kind of a surreal thing for me. I was like, man, this many people kind of stopped what they were doing to come out here and actually like watch us do what we do. So I was like, that was pretty cool. For me, I guess you would say it started March 13th, 2013. I was in a car accident, solo vehicle crash. I was pinned inside the vehicle. Took first responders approximately 90 minutes to cut me out, so damage was done, and they had to amputate me up above the knee. I've always been active, I've always competed in something, so that was kind of like, what am I gonna do now, and how am I gonna do it? The Fresno VA really got me initially started on the path to getting back to being active and kind of in competitive form. I was walking through the hospital and this lady just 100 miles an hour comes running across the, hey, like screaming. I'm like, what did I do? What did I do?
I did approach him. He says I ran after him. I don't know if I ran after him, but I did approach him. He's kind of like, who are you? What do you want from me?
And she like grabs me and she's like, hey, do you compete? And I'm like, what are you talking about?
And I go, are you interested in any adaptive sports, or do you participate in any competitions? And
do you want to compete in the wheelchair games? The wheelchair games? Yes.
The National Veterans Wheelchair Games?
I was like, in wheelchairs. And she says,
yes.
So you're really gonna have a bunch of disabled vets in wheelchairs compete?
Absolutely.
Sign me up. When we got to the convention center and we got through those doors and I seen those 300, 400, 500 veterans in wheelchairs there to compete, that was something I didn't know I need. It was just great being around all those other veterans, people with disabilities. You go anywhere and you don't really see many people out there like me. So it was kind of great being around other individuals who kind of had similar stories or at least experiences. And then again, competing, finding new things that I like to do, the shot put, the javelin, the discus, adaptive fitness. I got introduced into softball a few years ago and I was like, being stuck in a wheelchair, I really never thought, oh, I'm an athlete, I'm gonna be doing this again or doing that. But now I'm like, no, man, I played softball, I played basketball, I do this. What can I complain about? I wasn't the only one out there like me now. I knew there were more. So I wanted to do anything and everything possible to be that light for someone else who woke up in a hospital bed missing their leg, not knowing what they were gonna do anymore.
Having a veteran like Anthony on my team is just super fun. He brings so much positive energy, and to see the other veterans who are competing against him or with him, you know, giving them hugs and kudos, and it's the greatest thing to have so much camaraderie amongst each other, and it's just fun.
Yes, things got harder. You had to get accustomed to working a lot harder, but you can't really let that stop you. And there are still times where I'm like, in my own head, I still be like, oh, I can't do that, I can't do this. And once I get out of my head and get to doing things, it's a lot easier. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, it was a little bit more work for me to do it, but in the end, creating memories, doing certain things. I have a wife and kids. That's not gonna stop. Don't sell yourself short. Believe in yourself. If no one else does, at least you do.